Hello everybody and welcome back. Today we are going to be talking about why The Front Room is actually a good movie. The Front Room is a 2024 American psychological horror film written and directed by the Eggers brothers, the Eggers brothers being Max and Sam Eggers, who are also the brothers of modern-day horror auteur Robert Eggers, the man responsible for The Witch, The Lighthouse, The Northman, and the most recent Nosferatu. And while The Front Room is the Eggers brothers' directorial debut, they do have their brother to thank for some previous film experience. 2019's The Lighthouse was co-written by Robert Eggers and Max Eggers. Both Max and Sam also have production assistant credits on Robert Eggers' first short film, The Telltale Heart. Sam Eggers also has a production assistant credit on his brother's film, The Witch. And when it comes to family, The Front Room has everything to do with family. The story of The Front Room revolves around main character Belinda, played by Brandy Norwood. She's an anthropology professor, she's pregnant, and she's having a tough time with the way she's being treated by her department. She's a troubled character, she's still grieving from the loss of her stillborn first son, Wallace. One evening, Belinda's husband, Norman, receives a phone call from a mysterious number which turns out to be his estranged, ailing stepmother, Solange. He receives the news that his father has passed away and that Solange is going to be moving in with him and Belinda. And this is where the film really gets going. It's not long before we realize that Solange is an absolutely terrible person to be around. She's gross, she's sickly, she requires constant care, she's incontinent, just a real handful of a burden through and through. But believe me when I say this is all done by design. Her character serves a double function, one as the antagonist of the film, and two as the allegory for an overbearing responsibility. For all intensive purposes, Solange is the physical embodiment of Belinda's fears of being a parent. And Solange is a direct mirroring of the trials and tribulations that come with raising a newborn baby. And this idea of mirroring and reflection plays a very crucial role in the film. And throughout the film, mirrors make numerous appearances. And when mirrors are used in films, they're often used to represent the idea of duality, self-reflection, and vanity. When a character looks into the mirror, they're having a moment of self-realization or self-transformation, which highlights an important truth within the story. Solange is constantly shown to be a wedge in between Belinda and Norman. This is visually represented by the placement of the actors on screen. Often, Solange will be placed right in the center of the screen, with Norman and Belinda to either side of her. And this further recontextualizes the nature of their relationship and the idea that having a child will come in between the two of them. All of the issues that Belinda has to face with Solange are the same issues that parents of newborn babies find themselves dealing with. Things like incontinence, acting out or feigning injury for manipulative reasons, having to be bathed and washed, throwing temper tantrums.
Go, go, gaga, gaga, dada, dada, dada.
Solange is basically serving as a test for Belinda to see if she's truly ready and fit for parenthood, and all the not so pleasant and straight up horrifying things that come with that. The way that these anxieties on parenthood are portrayed in this film reminded me of another film that deals with a similar subject matter, and that's David Lynch's 1977 film Eraserhead, where lead character Henry Spence fears parenthood so much he sees his own child as a literal monster. Belinda's fears also manifest in a way that changes the world around her. Throughout the film, she has hallucinations and visions, often terrifying and disturbing. Now, Belinda's fears stem not only from a place of not feeling capable of taking on the job of being a parent, but also due to the fact that her previous child was stillborn. And in a way, the stillbirth can be seen as a metaphor for Belinda not being ready to be a mother yet. While in reality, a mother has no choice over a stillbirth, it is fascinating to think about in the context of the film. It adds to the intensified fears of her current pregnancy, and it also serves as a parallel to Solange's death at the end of the film, where despite it appearing that Solange had died from natural causes, it is revealed that Belinda actually smothered her to death with a pillow, in an act of severing her own maternal ties with Solange. The method in which Solange meets her demise is also worth talking about. Smothering can symbolize an overwhelming, controlling, or suffocating relationship where one person suppresses another's identity, freedom, or well-being. In this case, it can represent a character breaking free from a suffocating influence by any means necessary. And I would be remiss if I did not talk about the symbolism of the chair. Solange is often confined to this chair due to her physical ailments. The chair becomes a physical manifestation of her immovability in her beliefs and prejudices, particularly her racism.
Look at me. Here I go, riding on my horse to burn a cross.
Why are you behaving that way, you grown-ass racist.
The chair is central to Solange's takeover of the front room. It symbolizes her assertion of control over their domestic space and their lives. She plants herself, literally and figuratively, in the heart of their home, disrupting their plans and comfort. And if we look at the parallel drawn between Solange's neediness and that of a baby, the chair can also symbolize a form of regression or an elderly baby state, where she demands constant care and attention, mirroring the demands of a newborn. At the end of the film, after Solange's death, Belinda insists that Norman throws out Solange's chair. This act is deeply symbolic of Belinda reclaiming her agency, rejecting the oppressive past, and purging her life of Solange's toxic influence. So despite popular opinion, I would say The Front Room is actually a good movie. As most A24 films go, this film goes hard on the allegories and metaphors. It explores themes of domestic horror, aging and caregiving, control and agency, and above all, motherhood and identity. Personally, I loved it, and I thought it was a great little story about the terrifying realities that many face when becoming a parent. And remember to like and subscribe for more video essays on films, and thanks for watching.